Hi guys, my name's Seb Tudor, I'm the man on the Silver Mountain and welcome back. Now today I want to talk about openness, primarily being an open person. It's something that I've kind of talked on before. In fact, I think I did a video about it a while back, but there are a couple of things that I just kind of want to add, a couple of things that I just want to round out just a little bit, just because it's come up again a couple of times in the last few days. And yeah, it's important to be open, and I mean open in terms of approachable, open in terms of direct and straightforward, easy to kind of interpret and get to know. And there's a lot of strength in being open. There's a lot of benefits to being open. Sometimes it can come and give you a quick kick up the backside. Um, but for the most part, being open as a person allows people to trust you more, allows people to get to know you better, allows people to work with you more effectively. And it can be tough because at times the other person on the other side of the conversation isn't as open, isn't going to care, isn't going to be engaged or involved in what you're talking about, or the fact that you're describing things from your point of view. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't still try. And the first part of this is kind of the big one, which is be honest. One of the biggest things that I see with people, and not just be just remain tactful, sure, but there are people that I've seen, people that I've worked with, people that I have as friends, who, when it comes to certain situations, it becomes a case of they don't want to be honest because they fear what other people are going to say, what other people are going to do. Don't be afraid to be honest with people. If and again, tact, is the thing to employ. That so if you're about to come out in the middle of someone's funeral and say that the person who's about to be buried was a massive asshole, it's honest, sure, but it's maybe not the right time to do it. Just a little bit of timing, a little bit of tactfulness um, goes a long way. But when it comes to a serious conversation, one with your boss, one with your best mate, one with your partner, one with the person who is trying to sell you something, whatever, be honest, be straightforward, and don't worry about what they're going to think. It comes down to, well, tough luck. This is me. This is who I am. This is who you have to operate with. This is who you are trying to sell something to. This is who you fell in love with. This is the friend that you've had for the longest time. Whatever. You need to be honest. You need to be straightforward and not compromise on that. People respect honesty. They might not always like honesty, but they respect it. And honesty, it usually brings people being honest back with you. Sometimes it brings just people being mean to you because they weren't ready for the truth. But it's one of those things that you're better off doing rather than kind of leaving it floating. Oh, excuse me. Now, obviously, when it comes to the tactful side of being honest, the same way that I explained in my last live stream last week, there are certain things whereby not saying something, not telling the truth, or dancing around the specifics are necessary. For instance, me with the people I'm working with at the moment, and their social media policy, and how I'm, not talking about them other than my kind of direct experience, or the thoughts that I'm having, or the other bits and pieces that are going on, rather than referencing them, rather than bringing them up at all. It's just that dancing around it, being honest about the things that I can be honest about, but then in regards to the rest, no need for embellishment, no need to make things up or tell you guys anything that is just nonsense. It's just a case of not saying anything. And that's one of the things that I feel is an underrated skill these days, learning when and not to say things. But anyway, moving on, the next thing to do when it comes to being more open is make statements. I'm not talking about statements where it becomes a case of you just pointing things out about people. Again, that's, whilst they may very well be honest and they may very well be statements, then it still becomes a case of going, yeah, that's just you picking on people. Make them statements about yourself, about what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're doing. Just because, again, it lets people avoid misinterpretations of you. There's a lot of clarity involved with interactions between people who are just, I'm willing to say this about myself. You can ask questions, and I love questions. Questions are terrific. They're amazing tools. However, when it comes to you being open, you being engaging with the things that are around you, that's when you have to make statements, because it's stuff inside you. You shouldn't be asking questions of yourself. You should be going, this is what I want. This is how I operate. This is, what I do. This is the way that I feel. You shouldn't be going, do I feel angry? You should be going, if I'm angry, I'm angry. Look, this is me angry. Yeah, it's a fairly kind of straightforward thing. It's just not necessarily removing the filter entirely, but just stating the obvious from what's inside you. Sometimes it can be a bit of a hassle. Sometimes it can be a bit strange because you don't know what you feel and you want to express it, but you don't know how to put it into words. But those are things that, come with time. The more practice, the more used to making those statements about yourself, the better. A lot of people tend to ask questions rather than making statements as a way to be passive aggressive, as a way to test you, a way to mess with you. The stereotypical kind of joke of a boyfriend or a girlfriend who's like, where should we eat tonight? And then you give them an answer and they go, no, that's wrong. Or why would we eat there, or whatever else. It's a way for them to pick a fight, way for them to take the high ground. Don't be those people. Be the person that goes, I want to eat such and such tonight. It makes life simpler. It just makes life easier. And if they don't like it, then they can go, well, I'm not feeling that. How about this? Then it just starts a dialogue rather than just, putting people at odds. The next couple are things that take a little bit of practice, a little bit of effort, and to be fair, a little bit of courage. Now, the first one is aligning kind of what you do with what you feel. Yeah, and one of the things that I do is try to do that. But it can be very difficult. If I've had a very difficult session with a client because their problems are substantial, we are working hard together to get through them, and yet there's just this feeling of upset, of sadness in what's going on, just because they might have such a long journey ahead of them and they're still so stuck in the places that they want to get out of. That can be quite harrowing for me as much as them. Within the session itself, obviously in the aftermath they have to go back to that, and I'm able to go away. But it's still like, when I'm in a position and I want to help someone, not being able to do it, or knowing that I can only do so much at a time, sucks. One of the things that actually makes me want to do more, reach more people. Yeah, reach more people, do more, apply more in the way of useful tools to what is going on with people, make more of these videos so that you guys have this stuff in mind, and can hopefully help with kind of overcoming a few issues here and there for you. But then I've got to go on to the next session with someone. I can't talk about my last session or the rest of it, and so that's where there's a little bit of a gap to the kind of having what you do match up with what you feel. Just because, open body language. Right now I've got my arm crossed across me, but, you want to be open. You want to have your arms uncrossed. You want to show that you're a peaceful individual. Yeah? Open body language, both on your top half and your lower half. A relaxed kind of brow, relaxed eyes, open, kind of more smiling face, or at the very least a neutral one, rather than frowning and being all sad all the time. It's one of those things where show more of what's inside on the outside, because then people can see it. They can engage with it. But obviously, as per my little coaching example, where it's like, if I'm going to my next client after a particularly harrowing session of one description or another, then I need to reset, and I need to kind of pull myself back from that and be back at that baseline again. But sometimes that's very hard to do, and when I can't do that, then it becomes a case of just faking it. Being open as a way, and being approachable through mechanical means, rather than aligning my feelings with my behaviour. So there are exceptions to this one, but again, it's try and do it, especially when among friends, when among people that know you well. That you don't have to kind of remove yourself from the way you feel to act in a certain way. Show them how you're feeling, show them what you're feeling, show them what you want. And then the next one. No, there are two more. The next one is, when it comes to, again, showing what you want, as I just mentioned, sometimes you need to explain it. And don't be afraid to explain what you want. Don't be afraid to be direct. What I want is this. Can this happen? No confusion. No upset. At least from your point of view. Someone else might feel that what you're asking for is maybe a bit too demanding. But who knows? But also, by explaining, what do you lose? Someone says no. Well, then what am I supposed to do? That's what I want. It tells you where you need to go from there. If they say yes, though, you've got everything, because you asked for it. Good job. So yeah, don't be afraid to be direct. It's kind of especially key when it comes to talking and discussing things that are sensitive or intimate. Yeah, if you're talking about stuff with your partner, or if you're talking about stuff with your closest friends in regards to what you want from sex, what you want from time with your friends. If they always want to go clubbing, or if they always want to go out and do something, well, that's fine. But when do you actually have the time to sit down, talk, catch up, discuss things like you used to when you had all the time in the world? What do you want from those interactions? Spell it out for people, because they probably won't get it otherwise if you just otherwise go along with what they want. When it comes to things at work, I'd probably say be a bit more careful, because obviously you going, I want to raise, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want my own office, all that kind of stuff, then potentially you're lining yourself up to be laughed out of an office, laughed away from your boss's desk. Who knows? But yeah, you know where you work, you know what you do, far better than I probably do in regards to your situation. unsurprisingly, random people on the internet. But again, explain what you want. I want greater training opportunities. I want to find a way to improve the business. I want some, I don't know, I want an extra can of decaf coffee in the staff room because we never get decaf. Whatever. Throw it all into a what you want based statement. Yeah? And go and engage with whoever it is that could maybe provide it for you. And now that's the last point that I've got, is always have an open dialogue as best as possible. Yeah? Try to stop using one-word answers, because one-word answers kill conversations. And, when someone else is using one-word answers, maybe they're just not in the right space to have the conversation at the time. If people are just going, yep, nope, okay, there's not enough interaction there. There's not enough understanding. There's not enough strengthening of whatever points you're trying to make between each other to actually have a constructive conversation after the fact. In which case, if you yourself, you can avoid saying it. You can give larger answers. You can give more just expanded answers, to questions, or expanded statements to things going on within the conversation. That's fine. You can do that for you using some of the things that we've already talked about today. But when it comes to someone else not giving you anything, just yeahs and no's and grunts and occasional eye rolls or whatever, then probably not the best time to have a conversation. Make a point of going, look, we're not getting anywhere with this conversation. We need to have a proper conversation about this. When should we have it? Potentially that snaps them out of what they're doing. They turn around to you and go, oh no, I'm sorry, let's do this now. Or they go, yeah, I'm busy, I'm sorry, I'm distracted, whatever. Give me an hour and then we'll have a proper chat. Yeah? And when it comes to people in relationships, people working with friends, where it's not as formal, where it's not just, oh yeah, I'm doing something at the moment, give me an hour, I'll finish it, and then we'll have the discussion, almost making an appointment with someone, just try and engage a little more with those people and take that time. When there's someone that's just going, no, yeah, no, I don't know, okay, sure, whatever, they're not giving you anything. Actually, just go, okay, take yourself away, and then re-engage with them a little later. Just bring them a drink, bring them something to break the monotony. If you need to gain attention from someone to have a proper discussion, doing just a little nice thing for them tends to maybe go a reasonable way just to getting their attention onto what you are doing and how you want to interact. Even something as simple as bringing someone a drink or asking if they want something to eat. Just a little offer, just a little thing, because then they're indebted to you, and the least they can give you is their time, at least in a small way. So you want to encourage that more open dialogue where it's not just yeses and nos and grunts and sighs. You want to have that proper conversation from both sides. But anyway, guys, I hope that this is useful to you, both being open and kind of trying to just encourage an atmosphere of openness around you. I'm going to do another video this week in regards to getting someone else to open up. But again, that's kind of a trickier one. So we'll get onto that over the next couple of days. But otherwise, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the video later. Take care. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video or found it interesting, please drop us a like, share this video, and subscribe for more. and I'll see you in the video later. Take care.